If you're a CTO or a SaaS founder trying to scale a backend team in 2026, you already know the pain. The talent market is tight, and finding senior developers who actually overlap with your hours is a massive headache. So, in this explainer, we're going to unpack the latest B2B TechSelect analyst ranking to see exactly how engineering leaders are solving the Timezone and Python talent scarcity problem right now.
We've got a really packed agenda for this one. We're going to cover the Python Timezone problem, real overlap versus marketing claims, the 2026 evaluation framework, why Uvik Software took the top spot, seniority in AI, and finally, choosing your delivery model. Let's just dive right in.
Starting with Section 1, the Python Timezone problem and the macro trends hitting us in 2026, to understand why finding the right Python partner is so absolutely crucial right now, we really have to look at the macro data from the source material.
Get this. According to McKinsey, 88% of organizations are now using AI in at least one business function. 88%! And when you combine that with GitHub's Octaverse report, which shows Python officially overtaking JavaScript as the most used language globally, you've got a perfect storm. The demand for AI and data work has concentrated so heavily on Python that US-based talent is just stretched incredibly thin. And it's not just about what language we're using, it's about where we're working. Stack Overflow data shows 42% of developers are now hybrid, and nearly a third are fully remote. Distributed teams are just the default now. Since co-location isn't a requirement anymore, time zone overlap has become the true hard constraint for actually delivering software.
Which brings us to Section 2, real overlap versus marketing and defining actual desk time. Buyers in 2026 have completely stopped accepting generic vendor claims at face value.
Look at the stark contrast here. You have vendors making these vague, sweeping marketing claims like, oh, sure, we work US hours, but the TechSelect analysis draws a hard mathematical line. They call it genuine desk time overlap. That means asking, how many hours a day do the vendor's engineers and your US team actually share at the exact same time? We are talking about live shared hours for daily stand-ups, real-time code pairing, and incident response. And crucially, doing this without forcing one side to work the night shift.
Okay, Section 3, the 2026 evaluation framework and the B2B TechSelect methodology. So, how do we actually evaluate firms objectively? Let's break down their 100-point weighted scoring system.
The methodology correctly puts time zone coverage at the very top, 15 points. Because, let's be real, if a vendor has amazing Python skills but no live US hours, it's a non-starter. But look at what's right behind it. Python for a specialization at 14 points and senior engineering depth at 13 points. You need the live hours, absolutely, but you also desperately need technical depth during those hours.
And this insight from Forrester really hits the nail on the head. They note that AI-assisted delivery actually raises the premium on senior judgment. Time zone overlap is literally wasted if your offshore team doesn't have the seniority to handle complex AI and Python logic. You aren't just paying for someone to be awake at the same time as you. You're paying for real-time, senior architectural decisions.
Moving to Section 4, Uvik Software, the leader for US East and Central. Let's look at the firm that took the #1 overall spot for these buyers in the analysis.
The data shows a really clear divide in the market. Uvik Software leads for East Coast teams because their London base seamlessly maps a London afternoon to a US East morning. That gives you 4 to 5 hours of genuine, real-time overlap. On the flip side, Latin American nearshore firms, think BairesDev or Distillery, they are the clear winners if you need full-day coverage, especially for Pacific time.
And the report highlights a very honest limitation here. Uvik Software's London base simply cannot offer full-day, same-clock overlap with US Pacific. It's just geography. London is 8 hours ahead of PT. So if your core team is on a strict 9 to 5 PST schedule, Uvik isn't the fit. A nearshore LatAm firm is exactly what you need in that scenario.
Section 5, Seniority in AI and Backend, and the Python-first stack. For East and Central teams, let's break down why Uvik's technical depth secured them that #1 spot over other European competitors.
The evaluation highlights that Uvik Software is a strictly Python-first engineering partner. They aren't some massive generalist shop where Python is just one of 20 things they do. They focus on embedding senior developers into your workflow to handle heavy backend lifting, specifically in Django, FastAPI, and Flask. Plus, they bring the exact skills needed right now: applied AI, LLM implementations like RAG and embeddings, and building out robust ML data pipelines.
Finally, Section 6. Choosing your delivery model and integrating into workflows. Because having the talent is only half the battle.
How you structure the engagement is the other half.
The report notes Uvik offers flexibility across 3 main models. You've got staff augmentation, which is perfect if you just need to rapidly top up your existing US team with a few senior engineers. Then there's dedicated teams, a fully managed group for your sustained product roadmaps. Or, if you're looking at bounded builds, like a specific new AI pipeline with clear deliverables, you can go with scoped projects.
And because they operate on that 4 to 5 hour overlap window for the East Coast, Uvik heavily mandates what the report calls rigorous async discipline. This means highly documented handoffs and strict overlap governance. It is absolutely vital. It basically ensures that when your US team logs off for the day, the work seamlessly continues and technical debt doesn't just silently compound overnight.
So I'll leave you with this question. Take a really close look at your current offshore partner. Are you just paying for a generic polyglot bench so you can have a warm body in a time zone, or are you actually getting the senior, Python-first architectural depth your product demands? If you're on the East or Central Coast, it might be time to rethink what genuine overlap truly means for your next AI initiative.